Hello, welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I am a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Pedro's Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is the show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello, everybody hanging out in the Discord chat room. If you'd like to join us during the show, you can say hello by hitting up the Discord chat room. We have a URL invite. URL for that is discord.gg/Adafruit. And we'll take a moment here to welcome everybody to the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, everybody hanging out all over the world. We're tuning or checking out all the chat rooms. We are on Facebook, on YouTube, discord.gg/Adafruit, and on Periscope and LinkedIn. Giving shout outs to everybody hanging out all over. Liz Blitz City DIY hanging out in the chat room.
Good morning, Liz.
Dewester.
Good morning,
Rolls.
Dewester.
Thank you all for joining this morning.
Yeah, I just upped the gain on the microphone, so let me know how that worked out, and we will adjust accordingly.
It didn't sound too low,
Yeah,
but I had my volume
I had the gain lower because I did a voiceover yesterday, and I have it low normally for those voiceovers.
Good
So,
morning, Dan
This is our
Mitchell.
audio chat check, our audio check in the mornings. Cool. Good morning.
Morning, Rosin.
Yeah, we'll shout folks out as we get to it. Yeah, it's gonna be low.
No, it's good now.
It's good now. Good. All right. Well, let's kick it off with housekeeping. So let's head on over to adafruit.com/free. Find out what are the free deals going on this week while supplies last. I am seeing some stuff here. So for orders that are $99 or more, you will get a free half-size Permaproto breadboard. That's that lovely PCB that has through-hole plating and 3-color silkscreen. Very cool. Very nice for all sorts of projects to get your stuff off a breadboard. And if you spend $149 or more with Adafruit, you'll get the half-size Permaproto plus a free KB2040. That's that little driver board that can run CircuitPython or Arduino, and it's great for keyboards. For orders of $200 or more, you'll get that the KB2040, the half-size Proto plus free ground shipping for UPS for continental US only. So check those out while supplies last, and head over to adafruit.com/free if you want more details. But you'll be happy to know that they get added to your cart auto-magically as you add things to your cart. And don't forget, tonight is going to be Ask an Engineer with a 10% discount code, so keep a look at that later tonight. Okay, next up, we're going to head over to the jobs board at jobs.adafruit.com. I'm seeing some new job listings here. If you are a maker or an employer or somebody that's seeking some help for some makery projects, you can hit up jobs.adafruit.com. Latest one I'm seeing here is a science kit builder, and that's a part-time position in the Charlottesville, Virginia area, and that's from MicroKits. I'm also seeing one from DIY Girls in the California area, the San Fernando Valley area, for an Arduino curriculum developer. I could use some curriculum development. So check this out. You can add your profile for free or a job listing as well for free. So check those out at jobs.adafruit.com. Okay, let's check out the newsletter. If you head over to adafruit.com/newsletter, you can subscribe to the once a week product focused newsletter that has all the latest goodies that get added to the Adafruit shop. So head over to adafruit.com/newsletter. And for the dailies, you can go to adafruitdaily.com and subscribe to the many categories of newsletters that happen on the daily. Our favorite one, the Python on Microcontrollers newsletter. Thanks to everybody for subscribing to that one and submitting your stories. For all Python related goodness, check out the newsletter on adafruitdaily.com. Okay, let's jump back into the Discord chat room and say hello.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and night to everyone hanging out all over the world. We got a couple more joining in.
Hello,
Andy Callaway.
Good morning.
Footray.
We're just missing Yanni for our our GIFs.
Yeah.
GIFs and memes.
Seeing that the audio is
some
still
punctuation.
low. It sounds pretty high on my end.
Yeah. Wow.
Low?
I'm seeing it's kind of low here, but.
I'll
let
turn
me
up just a
try.
little
I
bit.
got an idea. Bear with us while we fix the thing. Input USB. Let me bring that up. Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is
Hello.
Noah Ruiz. I'm the designer here at Adafruit. Join me every week in the Pro. A little too early. Yeah, this is better. I'm seeing the readings are finally going up to 0. So
Okay.
it was the input level in the system preferences for the Mac OS. So I just turned that up. It should be better. And I'm speaking to the microphone.
Now you gotta like project.
You have to project to the microphone. I'm aware.
Good morning, Connor.
Howdy.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into this week's project. This week's project is this lovely animatronic robot from Obi-Wan Kenobi. It
Inspired
is
by Obi-Wan Kenobi. Lola 59. That's that droid. We don't want to spoil things, so we'll just say it's a droid from the Kenobi show.
That was from last week, though, and it's like right at the beginning of the first episode, so no spoilers there.
Cool. So it kind of resembles those robots from Batteries Not Included, but also kind of like a ladybug. It's got these two wings that are servo controlled, so there's 2 servos. You have 2 sort of eyeballs here. They have neopixels. One is a neopixel button, and the other one's a neopixel jewel. So you got a total of 8 neopixels. It's running off the Itsy Bitsy RP2040. That's that lovely board with tons of pins, GPIO. It's great for embedded projects, and it's all running Circuit Python.
Of course.
The code for this one was written by Philip Burgess.
Yay.
He does all the awesome animatronic code for our projects. And this one, you might remember it from a couple of years ago. The Terraco from The Legend of Zelda was the the droid we did. So this one is pretty similar, but it has 2 servos instead of 1.
It's just the magic of being able to rearrange your components into a completely different body. So big ups to that, and edit the CircuitPython code. All it had to do was adjust the rotation and the colors for the LEDs, and it was good to go. Just add some control in there.
Yeah.
Update the pins. We're using, instead of the Bluetooth NRI52840 for the Itsy Bitsy, we're just using regular Itsy Bitsy, no wireless communication with that one.
Yes.
And
So
should be in stock.
yeah, so it just kind of autonomously does its thing. It's randomized for the movements and the neopixel kind of animation.
Of course, we had to make 2 because they're just so freaking cute. One of the other like features of it is we wanted to make this a shoulder mountable bot. So we have these magnets embedded, and they are able to attract ferrous metals. So like this is one of those shoulder mounty little things that they have at Disney, and this attaches pretty well to that. So on your shoulder, you're able to attach your little robot and have a little shoulder bot. And of course, this can attach to any magnetic surface as well. So cool as a reconnaissance robot. You do have enough space in here if you wanted to do like some data logging or like CO2 sensing, temperature sensing, and log all that data. You can actually use that as an actual functioning robot. You can add all those inside of the lower compartment. Everything is together with these little snap fit. So you have a bottom, center, and then the top portion here. One of the other things too is you have access to your USB port. So on the back here, you can see the USB in there. You can attach that, and you also have your slide switch, so you can turn the circuit on and off. Itsy Bitsy has a rechargeable LiPo backpack attached to it, so you can recharge the 2,000 milliamp hour battery, which should last like a whole day at
nice.
the parks or something. When we got back,
Depending
it
on
only
your
took.
brightness,
I have the brightness all the way down to 0.1, so even with that, it still looks
looks
kind of bright and overblown in some of the camera shots.
yeah, but it looks great. You get this nice kind of blue haze. So it looks good.
Yeah, so this is the smallest that we've been able to get our hinges for the wings. Before we use like an M2 screw, and it still ends up being like a pretty wide knuckle for the hinges when we model that. So we're using a paper clip to hold everything together, and that's like about 0.8 millimeters thick, and allows us to make the hinges for that way smaller and hide that into the underside of the whole droid.
Cool. Would you say the most challenging thing about this was the wings?
Yeah, getting the wings to flap up and down. So originally I was going to have, you can kind of see like a vestigial leftover geometry here. I was going to have these, and you can kind of see the hole there, like some sort of linkage to have that attached to that. But it was a little bit complicated. I wasn't able to figure it out in the, 2-3 weeks that I had to work on this. So just having gravity, allow the wing to flap up and down seemed to work pretty well. So I went with that. Didn't have to do any attachment. So it made the assembly of the wing a lot more easier. Mm-hmm. And when you have kids, the first thing that they're going to do is try to move the wing up and down. So that
that's a good
definitely
point.
Helps in it not being stripped or, being unsunk with how the horns are. And that was a good way to simplify assembly and cut down on it being, your chances of breaking it. On the inside, you can see you have two different servo horns, two different designs because of the way that they're mounted. These are just attached to one pin. So I didn't have time to, sort of bug Phil B to have, two separate servos doing, one going up, one going down like you kind of see in the show. So I just settled on having one pin control both of the motors, and for that you have to mount them in a certain way so they're both positioning the same way.
Yeah, they're not mirrored, it's just positioned
equally, meaning one's not flipped over like the other side. I did have it that way, and quickly realized, I'm not going to, in the code, I'm not going to be able to have two different objects. That is of course a nice jumping off point, and if anybody wants to go ahead and take on that challenge and have two separate wings, or two different, have it attached to two different pins so you can individually control the motors. But for now, it's just controlled by one pin, so the functions are mirrored. Kind of the same thing with the LEDs too. Just to make it simpler, I didn't want to chain them,
Okay.
So it's just two that are connected. Both LEDs are connected to one pin, and it kind of works since we have a jewel inside here. You have the little spinning animation that you could add on there, and then just one NeoPixel Button PCB. It is for the smaller eye.
Cool. Some of the details are really hard to do as well on the outer shell. Like doing all these kind of groove and cutouts, that is very, very challenging.
Yeah, I was spending too much time trying to get all the detail in there, and then so it is a simplified detail of it. The rest was spent in figuring all of the mechanics behind it and getting everything mounted inside. I think it was like 2 weeks ago I had like the way that this was being assembled was like with a twist.
Right, yeah,
and that was not the way to go because of how the wires would be. It would like all tangle. So it's a nice little way to do the snap fits. There's a clip that goes into these grooves on both sides, for the bottom and for the top. And then the antenna, you do have some play features here, so you do have the ability to move it up and down. Same way for the assembly, we have a paper clip wire that is holding that together. And for taking this on the go, like if at a convention or something, you do have a stowaway mode. So you can actually put that all the way down and make sure it is nice and secure in your carry-on.
Cool. Speaking of carry-on,
translucent domes to have the diffusion go through. It's just
they're printed domes, printed in translucent PLA. The diffusion works here, I think, pretty well. It you get some kind of hot spots, but it kind of adds to the texture of it.
Yeah.
So
the paint, I'm using like a high sheen acrylic paint. It gives it like sort of like a car, like there's like glitter and like sheen on it, so it gives it a nice little weathered look too, with the way that you can kind of see the paint strokes on there. Did take about I think like 5 coats to completely cover it up.
Yeah, okay. So you printed in gray and then paint the red in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I did try doing red and then painting the white on that, but you definitely have to get... It looked flat, the white paint that I had, so I definitely recommend if you're going to go that route, get like a sheen, metallic white. I think they do make it.
Yeah. With all our props, we really try to avoid finishing. This is something we don't spend the time on because we're kind of limited on it, but this just goes to show that you can kind of get pretty decent results without finishing, but definitely can do that if y'all want to do that. You can do all sorts of finishing techniques. You can sand all the bits and color them. Maybe even add some of the detail back in that we weren't able to kind of replicate in VCAD. But yeah, very, very nice kind of paint job. Really, those two tones really make it what it is.
You do every single part requires supports. Unfortunately, there's just no way to get around it.
Here
you can definitely tell on the bottom here. I did try printing it the other way around, but that's where all the mounts for all of the PC boards are. So I can't really get the tolerance on that wrong. So it has to print with I think it's the degree of supports that it requires is 50 degrees. So pretty much this entire thing was all covered with supports. Same thing with the center and the top. The wings as well, supports all over. Even the dome. I even added supports to the dome.
Right.
You can try without. You will get definitely a lot of overhangs.
For these curvy parts. All right, so the real test was bringing this out into the wild. Yeah. We had an opportunity to go to Hollywood Studios out here in Orlando. They have something called Galaxy's Edge Black Spire Post. It's a very immersive Star Wars themed land here in Orlando and Hollywood Studios. So Pedro, you thought, let me bring Lola, and
happy to report that we were able to pass through security with no issues. The security guard, the cast member was all like, "Oh my God, is that Lola?
Is that 3D printed? Does that have servo?"
He was very exact, and I was trying to be nonchalant at all, like trying to hide, while we're getting our shots.
Super welcome, walking around. So that's good.
Everybody.
There are some limitations. You're not allowed to have like helmets or full body costumes because the folks can get.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were able to bring it in, no problems. We had great comments. Let's take a look.
Yeah, so it is. We are using that magnetic shoulder mount thing that we were talking about.
So that's got the neodymium magnets. They're really strong, so you didn't have any accidents, didn't fall, and you just have so many nooks and crannies at Black Spire Outpost, the Galaxy's Edge. Here is I forget, but it's like a restaurant open. You can have Bronto wraps. This is like the butcher area, but we were really happy to. We didn't think like, let's just start putting it around surfaces and kind of hanging out. So this is in that same area. We also went on a ride. This is the Star Tours, right outside of Galaxy's Edge, and wow, this thing looks fantastic with the lights and everything.
Yeah, so really hitting the home, the part of it being a companion bot. There's like a light on there, so it definitely helps illuminate your pathway.
Sure.
Like we were talking about earlier, the jumping off point for this, you can add like a CO2 sensor or like humidity and temperature, and have that data be logged, and you can actually use this as a sensing robot. Because it is running CircuitPython, you have your file system on there, so you can store, the Rebel base database on there. So actually have real data on there in terms of not just text files and images and all that, but actual temperature. And
I'd love to see the CO2 levels in that bar.
Oh God, yeah.
So Olga's Canteen, we got an opportunity to make reservations several months ago. We were able to get inside Olga's Canteen, and it was really fun for the kids to see the DJ Rex animatronic, who is the DJ there. Droids are allowed. They do serve their kind at that canteen. So that was really fun to hang out, and shout out to the folks that we met there. They are prop makers, and they were showing us some of their props. They fabricate stuff out of EVA foam and leather and all sorts of cool stuff, cool fabrics. So it was really cool to kind of meet those folks.
Yeah, and that on that point, definitely brought out all the people who were into making models and the cosplay stuff. So definitely really cool to be able to talk to those people and show them the Adafruit website and be like, hey, you can get a bunch of electronics there. And then it's inspiring and putting that seed in people's head. One of the kids that came up was just like, oh, how do I get this? I'm like, bro, you got to print it, So it definitely probably opened up his eyes and made him go, crap, a thing that you really like, that you want to make, that you can only make, will definitely push you over the edge and try to get into getting a printer and figuring out how all this stuff works. And that is the main goal of why we made this. We release it for free. You can use whatever electronics you want. Of course, it's going to be all fitted to the Adafruit stuff, but you can get your you get your skills into, you know, remodeling some of the components or the mounts for that. And I hope you hopefully inspire people to, you know, get into what
I think you did.
this whole, you know, all of Disney. I mean, it's hopefully trying to inspire you to become an engineer, or what they call Imagineer. So this is why we do this.
Yeah, it's very, very fun to bring it. I had a lot of fun filming it and bringing it on the rides.
Like everybody, everywhere we went was like you know, far away. Oh my God, is that Lola?
Yeah.
So I definitely had to keep it a little bit hidden too. I didn't expect that many people to recognize it from so far away.
Yeah, no, people, like I said, the cast member knew it was 3D printed and asked about the servos. Yeah, folks are more knowledgeable.
And what's so cool about this is that yet another thing to point out is the actual official Lola toy animatronic won't be released until August, so we're able to get this out a whole month earlier before I'm guessing it's supply issues or whatever that they like I'm sure they were trying to keep it hidden before the series came out.
Good point.
So it's really cool that you can print one out before any of the official ones come out, and you can
bring it to Galaxy's Edge.
Completely customize it however you want, whatever
bring
colors.
A Ziploc bag when the rain starts.
Oh yeah, it was sprinkling, so it was able to survive a little bit of sprinkles, even with all of the open, how open it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the Learn Guide. Spent almost half an hour just given the synopsis to why we even made this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fun. Rarely do we get to bring our prop to a land dedicated to, you know, Star Wars, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like when we made the lightsabers, you know, we can't just, I mean, we could bring them in, but it's a little bit more of a hassle. Bigger, This is nice and small if it's in your hand.
Literally like a thing on your shoulder.
Yeah, so it just fits on your shoulder. So yeah, this is the Lola Bot, inspired by the little animatronic that young Princess Leia has throughout the series. Only thing I can't do is fly around, and I didn't have enough time to put like sound effects on there.
Sure.
But definitely room to put one of the smaller speakers inside there.
It was funny because somebody, or the fellow asked us at Olga's Canteen, like, oh, does it have any sounds? We're like, well, you wouldn't be able to hear them anyway. Yeah. It was a super loud bar area. But
that's a good point in terms of, you know, there's always a compromise when you're engineering stuff. It's like, okay, I can't add the detail because I need to make the wings work. Sure. I can't make sounds because I need to shoot the whole video.
So the main goal was like, how do I get the shape right, and how do I get these wings to keep going?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you got the 2 micro servos, the Itsy Bitsy RP2040. You got the lipo backpack, the slide switch, and then that honkin' 200 milliamp battery, which will give you a good couple hours of playtime. You got the Jewel. It has 7 neopixels and a neopixel button, which just has a single neopixel. And those are all the parts. Most of them are in stock.
Except the Jewel, but I think you can't replace that Jewel. We have the other Jewels, the Warman.
They have RGBW.
Yeah.
So you could always scroll down here and pick one of these.
Probably the neutral one.
Yeah. These just have that extra light. So that could be something you want if you want to play around with that. Warm white or cool white. You can update the code. I think the NeoPixel object just gets a little extra add-on, but we have plenty of demo code for both NeoPixel types, especially RGBW. So check that out. You can always, you know, change out the part. It should have the same diameter, so you're good there.
And then our smallest NeoPixel is the mini Button Pcb, and that was in the smaller eye.
Yeah, these are great. You get a pack of 5 for $5. Rechargeable LiPo battery.
Some of the little ancillary type stuff, which is a hero. I don't know, I should call it ancillary. It's what I was the easiest way to build connectors. I want to say the male and the female header sets.
Okay.
I definitely get those, and I'm just using those because there are 3 different levels on the whole body, and I needed a way to easily connect those without doing like the jump. What I usually use is jumper cables. I snip those off and have the female and male, but those are so long. Yeah. The header ones are a lot more smaller, so that was definitely the way to go. And then just some Kapton tape. I should have added that on there. We have the strips for insulation. Yeah. Spudge your tool because you're going to need that to disassemble because of the way that it snaps in. It's
super snaps.
It's pretty. It's in there.
Circular snaps.
You'd probably break a nail trying to get it off.
I
disassemble it.
All right, let's check out the
magnetic pin. If you want to have that,
magnetic pin.
There it is, magnetic pin. If you want to have it attached to things, which we didn't even mention. If you go to the overhead, nice fellow has already modeled a Lola Bot and included the feet for that. And we were like, oh, I didn't have any time for that. Maybe it'll fit. And the scaling is pretty similar.
Yeah.
And so we could put magnets on the inside here, just press fit those in, and they would go right on to these existing ones. So you can have little feet.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I'll quickly show it. I was going to show it for Shop Talk, but yeah, let's save it for Shop Talk. Just don't forget. We'll look at the Thingiverse file if you're looking for a Lola Bot with a bunch of details. It's kind of the only one right now at the time of this recording on Thingiverse, but we'll talk more about that during Shop Talk. Yeah.
I haven't put any links in the...
Yeah, it's your hosting. You want me to entertain while you do that?
Oh, you can also see the comments real quick. Dave Darko saying, yeah, he spent 10 hours on just detail himself. Can relate. Yes, I did not want to get tracked.
Dave, so Dave is building one as well. His is very detailed.
Yeah. I wanted to make it as detailed as I could, but man, like you're saying, that's 10 hours of... I got to do all the other stuff
Yeah, super challenging, but... Shout out to Dave for doing it up.
Manable is saying, it'd be cool if it could relate to sound. Yes, that's an excellent idea.
Oh, like sound reactive? Yeah. Proximity sensor, light sensor.
Yeah, I mean, you could stick the proximity inside of the bigger eye.
I hope this excites people to think about some other ways to do it.
There's so many... You can reorient how the components are inside, so there's definitely space for whatever you want in there.
Cool. All right. Let's head over to the circuit diagram real quick.
Here's a circuit diagram for this. It's using It's Bitsy. I could have sort of updated this to not have the NRF 52840. I'll have to update this again.
Okay. It's pretty similar, folks.
It's the exact same pin out.
Same board dimensions. Just a couple pins, really. One data pin for the NeoPixels. They're sharing data, ground, and voltage. And then the servos are also sharing ground, voltage, and the signal pin. So you can change that up if you want to use like an Arduino Nano or something else. You could do that. Just change up the pin. And if it's CircuitPython compatible. So we got all the pins are laid out here, so you could always reference that for accessibility purposes. And we created this in Fritzing software, which you can pay for or compile it yourself for free. So there's that.
To get all the Fritzing objects, I'm posting the link in our GitHub here where you can get all of the parts for that if you want to build your own circuit diagram.
Yeah, you can get the batteries and all the boards and the NeoPixels. Yeah. Cool.
It's all there.
All right.
CircuitPython.
So the CircuitPython page is a mirrored page from the Itsy Bitsy RP2040 page. So this will just walk you through the steps of getting into the bootloader, downloading the UF2 file, which is the firmware for CircuitPython, and then you just drag and drop it because it shows up like a USB flash drive. So you got all the documentation here for installing CircuitPython. This is running CircuitPython 8, which is the latest version at the time of this recording. Let's check out the code page. Shout out to Phil B again for putting this together in the previous project. We just updated the servo kind of settings,
the rotation for it,
and the NeoPixel count and the board pins. So everything's kind of written out, so you can adjust it as you'd like. If you want to do a different NeoPixel like the RGBWs, you can change that here in that pixel object. So what did you change for the servo kind of?
If you scroll down, instead of like 180, I think it's down to like just 80. So it's not doing that full rotation that it was doing on the Terrica robot. So you don't need because it was for a head, you don't need to rotate all the way around. For the wings, it's literally, just that one little bit. What is it like?
Looks like most of the settings have a lot of it is comments.
The same.
You can check those out and see like if you want to change the hold ignition position for a second, it does that. So you can change that if you don't want any hold. I haven't played with this myself too much, but
pretty much the start and the end position. Yeah, I was just able to. Again, I am not a coder. I can't. I could read what it's saying, but code wise, I can't understand what any of these. Minimum, plus, negative, 10. I was just messing with what I thought was the in and out points, which is the next position 7. I think that's where it starts, so it's not slamming the horn like onto the base. It's a little bit raised, so you have some leeway in case there's some slop or something in the way that the wing is put together. It's not gonna like slam into anything. and it's not going to stress itself stripping the motor, trying to raise the wing higher than it can go.
Okay. And
so that's what I was looking out for.
You know, when you are assembling the servo horn, you'll want to be right next to Moo Editor, changing the position.
Exactly, yeah.
Trying to place the horn.
Yep,
in the right
I show
spot.
it in the assembly part where to test that out.
Okay.
Here's what the CircuitPython drive looks like with all of its libraries.
The circuit or the bundle fly. If you click on this button here, Project Bundle, it'll pull down dynamically all the libraries that are needed. So you need the NeoPixel library, the Adafruit motor library, and all that gets packaged together for you just by clicking Download Project Bundle, which is really nice. Still amazed about that feature in the Learn system. Really nice. All right, on to printing. A couple parts. We have 3 main parts. You got like the inner plate, the bottom plate, and then like the topper, and then the wings and the domes and the servo horn and the antenna. Still though, it's a small amount of parts.
Small amount of parts, but they each take around 6 hours to print.
Sure.
The body parts. So
depending on
it's because of
your
it's because of the resolution, the speed, and how much support material is going on there.
Yeah.
So for the layer height, I forgot to put one setting on there. It's the adaptive layer. So you want to.
Oh, cool! That's a new feature.
Nah, it's not too new.
Okay.
It just adds more layers for where it's going. Where it's doing the curves, it'll add more layer height to it.
Cool. All right.
And then
so 10% settings.
Yeah, 10% gyro infill, 60 millimeters a second. It's good. The supports, we're printing that lower extrusion width, 0.2, so easier to remove. The density is 4%. And the overhang at 50, so anything that has a 50-degree angle will get supports, and that's what we want for the bottom and the top one. The center one, I would do it as well, just because it'll make the smoothing of the way that it arcs over, so it doesn't crush any of your components that are on the inside there.
Okay.
Brim for the adhesion, so we get a nice little adhesion there. And then the painting, I show the brand that we use. It's the Deco Art Extreme Sheen.
Okay, cool.
And there's the red. I was going to try a darker one, but I didn't know if it would.
How'd you feel about airbrushing it?
The airbrushing, I didn't want to. It was a timing thing. I didn't have time to go in there and mask all of that out, get out the airbrush. And
so you didn't mask any of this?
No, it's just a paintbrush.
It's all freehand.
Yeah, it's using because these do dip down the grooves for this.
Pretty clean.
You're able to use it as a like a line.
And as you saw from afar, it looks good. It's it's a prop. You know, the further away you are, the better it looks. We have some gifts finally for Yanni. Let's check this out.
Oh yeah, just so small. Yeah, that was one of my goals there, to make sure it fits in your hand. I totally wanted the wings to rise as high as it does in the series, but
that's crazy. It has the eyes like looking around the pupil.
Yeah,
that's cool, a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Woo. All right, heading back over. All right, so that's the paint. A little tip about the paint. You can freehand it.
Assembly. All right. Definitely dry fit the board, so you can get the measurements for each wire that you're going to need. If you go to the first one, you can see how I'm doing one wire that's split off. So like for the ground, I'm using one wire and then twist those with 4 other wires together to create sort of like a spaghetti or a squid that has all of your ground connections, because you're going to need one for the LiPo charger, the NeoPixel, and the servos. A lot of grounds.
Yeah. It's hard to get like a small ground bus in there, so this is a good method of just...
Yeah, there's just silicone coated wires, so they're nice and easy to bend around.
Yeah,
they're super
strong. Flexible.
They're not going to melt when you're soldering other stuff together.
Yeah, that's great. And plenty of heat shrink there. Here's a good look at the headers there.
Yep.
Or the connectors, rather.
Yep. So I'm using the male headers on one side, and then it'll connect to the female on the other side, so you can string those through the different levels.
Yeah, you need to be able to disconnect the components from the lower.
Yeah, you don't want to You
'Cause
could, but if something messes up, you're gonna have to unsolder to
you have to
get to the
thread
bottom.
through the 3D printed part and then
It's not a
solder
good way
again.
to-
So having connectors is
Actually, it's not
pretty
going to work for the
essential.
top because there's no way you can fit the jewel through the eyes. It has to go on the other way
through the top,
and then connected.
panel mounted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is a good method then.
Mhm.
It's a little bit more advanced. You definitely want to have a little bit of soldering practice before doing this. If this is your first
the way
project.
to go,
Yeah.
Moving on to mounting everything. The magnetic pin fits on the bottom there, and the board, your completed circuit board, fits right on top with space for the LiPo backpack on one side and the little cutout for the slide switch on the other.
Yeah, there's little clips on the corners of the PCBs,
Mhm.
so that's what's keeping them in, and then the kind of standard holder for the slide switch.
Yep.
So that's nice.
You want to orient the USB port to the opening there. You can see that nice little channel where a USB cable can plug into.
Cool. And servos is getting into the
Yep, so this is-
mounting plate.
Yeah, so this is the center body. The servos the little servo mounts have fillets on one side, and you want to put the mounts for the servo on the other side of that fillet. So there'll be a nice flat little mounting for it. So you can see where that is laid out. You can see here the right one. When you're looking at it with these two holes are where the eyes are. So when you're looking at it that way, the orientation, the right is going to be the smaller servo horn, and the left will be that longer, bigger one, just because of the way that we were talking about, how they're not really mirrored. It's like stacked, so you can have the same action for the wings mirrored.
Okay.
And you can kind of see I have a cutaway there because I had designed it, with thinking that you could mount the servos, opposite of each other. And I didn't think of, one's going to be rotating 90. To get that same thing, you'd need like negative 90.
Yeah.
So I would, not able to code that. So just stack the servos the same way, orient them the same way.
Yep. And then,
So that's a nice little visual cue, though. That little cutout that is on the center body part, that is where the left motor, so the left servo horn, that's where that goes. The longer one.
looks like you just coiled up the cable too, so there's plenty of
are going to
room.
have to optimize the wires for that. So I didn't want to cut them. So yeah, coiling up, making a nice little bundle of the wire for each one is definitely a better way to go if you don't want to cut it. And that'll clean up how much room you have on the bottom there. You don't want the wires squishing all together.
Yep.
So if you go to the next photo here, you can see how that gets threaded through. You have just enough room to connect the bottom there. So if I scroll down a little bit, you can see here how those are aligned together, the bottom and the center. The little connections for the LED eyes that are going to pop through the center into the top. And then you can connect your servo and all the other connections together. You can see here why we did the males on the bottom and then the females on the top. It's because of the servos have the female connectors on them. Those fit perfectly in there and connected. And then you can line those up and press fit the bottom and the center together. And here's where you can test out the servo horn arrangement. So when you turn it on, it'll reset its position. So you'll hear like a you can kind of,
it always goes back to kind of 0.
it starts back at, it's going to be like 7. So that noise there. As soon as you hear that, turn off your circuit so you can arrange how your servo horns are. You see here there. I think I just popped my slide switch in. There you go. So when you turn it on, yeah, I just popped it.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. That's where it resets.
Yeah, so
So
nice.
that's
if it
where you
stays
would-
open, it'll go back.
Yeah, so it'll go back to reset at it's 7 degrees, and that's where you can position your servo horn, and that'll be like the starting position, and that's how you can like sort of sync them or calibrate them.
So the servo horn is attached to the 3D printed arm. Is that right?
No, the arm is attached to the servo, the what's it called, the horn part. You can see it there. It's attached, and then you use the 2 screws that come with it to secure it in place.
That's what I'm saying. So the servo comes with horns, and you're using the stock horn, right?
No. You have to use a completely customized horn because it has that little arm. You kind of see that
it
that arm
to the spline?
with screws. Yeah, it pops right in and
press fit.
Yeah, press fits in, and you have the screws that will secure it in place. Definitely use the screws because it can pop out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's how it's secured.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of times I'll make an attachment that attaches the attachment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing that with this droid.
It's because I wouldn't have enough room for it because the way it's mounted, it's like almost completely flush to the bottom base here. So I don't think I'd have enough room.
Cool.
But yep, nope. You're completely replacing the entire horn.
Nice.
You're just using the screws that come with the servo.
That's good.
Or each of the servos.
All right, I think you're putting together the wings here.
Wing assembly, we're just using a standard metal paper clip. Some of the paper clips that look like they're metal, they still have like a clear plastic sheathing over it. Yeah. So you want to take that off, otherwise it won't fit. And then using pliers and a precision, the little needle nose flat pliers, you can use those to bend into a slight curve so it'll fit through the bodies and the wing hinges. And then you'll just bend the end so they don't fall out. And then you'll do the same thing with the tail assembly.
All right. Yeah,
it's pretty much that
standard. All right.
Yep. The orientation for the tail, you just want to make sure that chamfer that I have, a little cutoff, make sure that's pointing towards the eyes, and that's so that you can put it in stowaway mode. So the tail will flip all the way towards the body. Move on to the NeoPixels. The way we're connecting these are again with the header pins. You can solder directly to the PCB button NeoPixel.
Yeah, I hadn't seen a button wired up that way.
Yeah, I've not done that either.
For the pads, so the pads are on the back of it.
You can kind of see there that I like marked where the ground is for each one of the parts, just so that when I'm connecting them through the bodies, it's easier to align the cables.
Good method, yeah.
Yeah, so we're using the Sharpie, I think it's like the oil-based white, and that seems to go on many different surfaces. So it's a nice little way to mark things.
All right. So once they're installed to the eyes, you can connect them up?
Yep, you'll line up your body, make sure that the USB port should be on the back. And the side switch is on one of the sides. And that's it, yeah. Just press fit. It should snap together. You do your little test there, attaching the diffuser domes. And that's really the last part.
Yeah, they just press fit in.
Oh, last part here, using skate lubricant to help the wings flap smoothly. Just added like a drop to the hinges. Like right here.
Okay.
And that's just to make it super smooth.
Okay.
You could go in there and like really clean it up with like sandpaper or something, but having that lubricant on there is definitely going to help. That's pretty much it. If there's any, like you kind of see here, this one stays up a little bit. It's just because of the way that I've bent the paper clip. You can adjust that by like twisting it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Got yourself a nice little animatronic Lola. And here's the stowaway mode I was talking about, so you can have that all the way back or front. And there you go. A nice, super cute. So cute I had to build too.
Yeah.
And of course you can play around with all the different colors, all of the different the shines that they have, and of course the material. If you don't want to do any painting at all, this is that glitter red, which doesn't really match what we see on screen. I think it's closer to what this red is, but there you go. You can have your Imperial Lola or good guy Lola.
Rebel Lola.
Yeah. There you go. Attaches to these. I don't know if they sell these separately.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna find like a stock because I don't think this will be our last companion bot.
There's like shoulder puppets, and this just happened to come with one of them that we got.
Yeah, it's super comfortable. It's got like all these.
Yeah, it has like this removable. Is it come cushiony off or is it glued in place?
I think it's glued. I wouldn't remove it.
All right. We only had one, and we almost lost it at Galaxy's Edge. So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. A nice, simple way to make a little companion bot.
Yeah, simple though. So cool. All right, like we're gonna jump into shop talk or what are prototyping and then.
Yeah, let's check out the.
I want to talk about this. Yeah, so
the feet.
Yeah, so let's talk about the feet.
So this came out, I think, last week. A very detailed Lola Bot on Thingiverse.
So this is from Prop Vault. We posted up on June 24th, and Prop Vault posted this up and has a lot of details to their Lola build. So you can see the feet here, and the top part has all those bits and all the embellishments. You can see like the kind of faux, I don't know, electronics, I guess.
Components on the inside.
Yeah, so it's really cool for the details. So we took the feet and kind of optimized it a little bit. So right here, I connected those two things, and you saw in the overhead that I kind of added a little bit of geometry so that the magnets would stick in here. But yeah, it's...
So these would press fit.
Yeah, I gotta play with the diameter, it's wrong, but cool that we can kind of bring that into Fusion and modify it matches, a little bit.
Yeah, it matches pretty dang,
the scaling matches
pretty dang good.
So shout out to Prop Vault for posting that up. It's already got quite a few makes, so people are making
Very
Lolas.
Nice.
So yeah, giving a shout out there to the other Lola props, and as we see more, we'll probably chat about them and post them up on the blog and stuff. So
very, very cute design in general for this.
I think I'll upload a remix for the legs. So yeah,
super cool.
Yeah, lots of good details on that.
Yeah, like all the little greeblies everywhere.
Yeah. And printed with no supports. You can see here that there's the underside.
Yeah.
See all the boost filament that came out, but yeah, that's what you get. So pretty cool. Yeah, so
kind of get it on there.
Yeah, we did it in the photo here in this.
Oh, you can't see it on there.
Here it is.
Overhead, yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's great. So just a quick little shop talk there.
All right, cool. All right, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
They approve.
Do you like mics?
Approve. Approve.
Another shop talk bit.
Oh yeah, the engineering. They Star Wars themselves released I think it was Hasbro.
Yeah,
right?
Hasbro. Yeah.
They released a video on how they engineered it, and you can kind of see a couple of the components on the inside. They did like a intersection view, so you can see like all the components on the inside.
Yeah, they actually showed CAD, and they showed some of the internals. They showed their prototype. I kind of wish I had the video here.
Yeah.
But just search for Lola on YouTube, and it's from Hasbro Pulse, the folks that make a lot of the high quality props for Star Wars.
What impressed me was just the way that the layers, how they did each of the different body layers. Like, that's exactly how I did mine. So
I'll probably do blog
really cool to see how that works. Of course, it was pretty high level, so they didn't talk about like how the motors function. Because I was really interested. There, the way that they call them ears. I thought they were wings. So the way that they flap up so fast.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of mechanism that's like pulling like a string or something, and it's just.
We'll find out when it's released. We'll obviously get those to take one apart and see how they're doing the motors for that.
Yeah, there may be a shortage of parts, so we'll see. But sometime later this year in September or August or something.
Yeah.
Then there's going to be a toy version as well that probably won't have like servos and stuff. But yeah, we'll see.
It should be interesting to see how all those are manufactured, like what motors or servos they're using on the inside, maybe like the little tiny Palolo ones. So it's super interesting to see how their LEDs are all structured and all that. So super cool, cool way to get interested in toy making.
Yeah, totally. All right, another shop box. Check out a Layer we did last week. It's on making geometry for like holding hex nuts. So if you're attaching parts together, you can make some geometry that will hold your hex nut in place. So check that out if you want to learn a little bit more about sketch constraints and just using the draft tool in Fusion 360 to kind of avoid supports and stuff. So check that one out. Okay, what are you prototyping? You got 10 minutes here, so I'll quickly show off the.
Okay, we got more droids.
Project. No, it's not Droid. This is an IR remote. I lost the remote for my TV, so Lamar thought it'd be a fun idea to make an owl to make the remote into the shape of an owl. So we have 2 IR LEDs here. We have an arcade button to turn the TV on and off. That's all it's doing, just turning the TV on and off. And then you can use the IR receiver to take in some of the code from an existing remote. And then it's on this base. Yeah, it'll be next week's project. It's a nice simple one. Shout out to Liz. She's writing the code for this one. It's kind of already done. We just need to start doing the learn guide. But yeah, IR LEDs. Remember the TV Be Gone? It's kind of like a TV Be Gone, but we'll document how you can kind of sniff out.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you can sniff out. Gosh, I can't think with these servo stickers. I cannot think with them.
I was hoping it wasn't too loud for people.
I just can't think now. Anyway, TV remote. It's running off the QT Py RP2040, and gosh, I don't know what else to say about it other than I had a lot of fun making the owl shape. It's completely hollow, prints without any supports. This is like a little plug in the background just so you can get access to the button. The LEDs are press fitted, and there's a little perma proto in there, the quarter size, just to get some grounds going. I have room for that, and then I have the 3D printed snap fit holder for the QT Py. You can see that there. I've used this in quite a few other projects now. I just keep reusing that part because it makes it so that the bottom is modular. So if you want to
get to it,
use a different board, maybe you have a different Arduino board that can do CircuitPython, then you would use that.
Cool. Liz is saying that she used the IR signal reconnaissance for this project.
Yes, reconnaissance. And you got your snap fit base there for the owl. You have some screws to attach the owl. You can feed your owl all sorts of IR signals.
Yum yum.
Yum yum. It likes to eat. It likes to eat IR signals that are in the shape of a mouse. And
very satisfying
I
snap.
love the LED turns on when you press the button, which is pretty cool. I just don't have it plugged in. It's going to be powered by USB, so you just plug in USB there.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's it. IR
Very
owl. Cool, cool.
All right.
Very simple, clean owl shape. Look at those eye sockets.
Oh.
They're the best.
You do a labor there?
I am. Like I want to.
The owls are not what they seem.
Yes, that's the reference from. Oh boy, is it Twin Peaks? I think it's Twin Peaks.
Well, we know so much pop culture.
All right, we got a couple minutes.
And then
we're gonna catch up on some last week, 2 weeks ago. Inquisitor Lightsaber.
Yeah, super cool. This took forever. You can see there, it kept failing on me. I think it took like 8 different tries. I finally did like I think it was like 45-degree overhang supports for it. So there was just supports all over the friggin' thing with like a 20 brim bottom for the adhesion, and that finally worked. The only thing I wasn't able to do with the other ones had you could like, you know how it like this slides in and out, so you can do like the half circle and slide over to do the full circle. Those parts I weren't able to get printed out, but the entire whole piece fitted, and it feels nice in the hand. I like the little detail here. You have the you can add a saber or tube or something to it, and just a tiny bit of detail with the red and the gray for the painting there.
Go ahead and drop the link to the Thingiverse. The Safari crashed, so I can't pull
I'll put it in.
Armand's
I like the
is the designer. I'm trying to get the designer credit. I can't go faster. Sorry, folks.
No, I'm right here.
It literally crashed. The notes crashed.
From Armand deLaureal.
Yep, there's a Thingiverse link. It's a free download off of Thingiverse. Sorry, I can't get to it right now.
It's right here.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, look who got a haircut.
All right.
Oh, hi.
Don't pick him up yet. Our dog just got a haircut. Rufio's very happy.
Yanni says that the lightsaber looks like Stargate on it. It does. I like the airbesh.
Airbesh?
Whatever writing that's on there. Nice little detail on there. Yeah,
It's not like Jedi writing or anything.
I think it is Jedi writing.
Maybe it is. We don't know. Sorry.
I don't know what it says, but it looks really cool
man,
as
how's
a
that
detailed texture. It's in there.
Oh, wonderful. So click on that link. For Thingiverse. If you
I
wanna,
posted it twice. Whoops.
If you want to build your own. Hey, what happened? Is it gone, Pedro? It's gone,
wow.
huh? Well,
Let's see.
That's the first.
Trying to load.
Yeah.
No, it's there.
Why didn't it work for me?
I don't know. Let me post this link again. Is that the same one? 3, yeah.
The second link you pasted was wrong or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's because it's strung with like all of the.
Okay, it's just weird.
Let me delete that one. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
fantastic design by deLaureal on Thingiverse. Probably their last name.
I have the
Sorry
whole
for
name
butchering
here.
that.
It's Armand.
Very, very awesome builds. It can swivel if you.
Yeah, I'm so sad I wasn't able to get that part printed.
Our timelapses are tough to do.
Yeah.
They're
It's so big.
challenging with the setup that we have.
It's one of those like, I don't know, 24-hour prints or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It says in the thing.
Cool. Very, very cool though.
Yeah, I like the scaling of it. Feels nice in the hand. Only thing is missing is having like the hollowed out, so you can put some LEDs and stuff in there. Maybe the maybe the magnetic LEDs that would definitely fit on there. It's just like getting the tube to go on there.
Okay. Can you put the second link then?
And then this week's community make is a Gonk droid,
Gonk.
but not just any Gonk droid.
Gonk.
It's a bobble-headed Gonk droid.
Gonk. This is by Joe Kovell.
Think it's
Shout out to
Joe.
Joel for posting that up. It's a free download. Is it a free download? Sorry, I don't know. But it has this very interesting kind of spring mechanism. And it's just a spring kind of shape.
Yeah,
And it wobbles really nicely. Wobble, wobble. Gonk.
it is an excellent reference
Gonk.
for how he's doing that spring.
Gonk.
You can kind of see it here. I showed it in there too.
Gonky gonk.
See how that is.
Yeah, it's a very nice spring for bobbles. Joel also has a wide collection of designs that feature this mechanism. Very, very cool. Pedro's got the link here. I'm pulling it up.
2 legs to make a bobble more. Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
More accurate to the design.
A garbage bot.
Yeah, but
I guess
excellent
it's a
reference
robot.
for the way that the spring is made on that.
Yeah.
And it looks like it was made as a motor mount for your printer. Nice little visualizer to make sure to see from across the room that your printer is indeed extruding.
Yep, we got Abe
You got Lincoln.
and, R2D2s. Yeah, check out their YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
Joel has
those
a
are
great
great.
YouTube channel. So check that out.
I think the Gonk one though is definitely what the characteristic of the
Gonk.
bobbing is what fit it best.
Gonk, gonk. Yeah, here's a collection of all the different ones that
This is
Joel
great.
designed.
Yeah.
TARDIS.
Mhm.
It's a cool one.
Oh, somebody remixed that treasure chest puzzle into a Zelda themed one. Looks
Oh, yeah?
excellent. Yeah.
Cool.
So much great stuff here.
Yeah,
check it out.
Very, very cool. All right, well, that's this week's
Community makes.
community makes. We'll have to do them next week because there's a good list of them. So we'll have a lot to do next
Gotcha.
week.
Yeah,
With the owl, there's not a lot going on, so we won't spend an hour on that learn guide. It's
yeah.
2 LEDs, and there you go.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Looks like we're right on time. Don't forget
Almost.
to go anywhere later today. We still got a full list of shows.
Yeah, we invite you to come on the show and tell and share your projects, retro gear or anything like that. You can come on the Discord chat room at around 7:20-ish. We'll drop a link in there. It's going to be hosted by Lamar and Phil, Mr. and Mrs. Lady Ada. So full 30 minutes of showing and telling with the community. And then right after that, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Ask Engineer with Lamar and Phil, the return of Ask Engineer. So check them out. Got lots of new stuff to catch up on. But yeah, tonight, show and tell will be there, and hope to see you there.
Yeah, please stop by, show off your awesome DIY project you're working on.
Got tomorrow, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, John Pox Workshop. Check in with John. And then Friday, you get a deep dive with Tim, Foamy Guy, every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific or 5 p.m. Eastern. And then wrapping back around, normally on Sundays, from the desk of Lady Ada as a live stream around the evenings. So check those out for the Great Search, sponsored by DigiKey. Mondays, we have the CircuitPython meeting, with the exceptions of when it falls on a U.S. holiday, we do it on the following day. So this week, we had a U.S. holiday on Monday, so that it happened on a Tuesday. Normally it's on a Monday. And then on Tuesdays, JP's Product Pick of the Week. Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific. This week was a 8x8 dot star matrix.
So cool.
So check those out. And you got 50% off or up to 50% off discounts.
Should use it on that R2D2 one, huh? It looks so cool.
Yeah.
Dot star
cool.
little matrix.
Yeah, I might do the Charlie because it's easier.
Oh, yeah. Forgot.
Yeah. Dot star's got some special code.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it. We'll see you tonight on Show and Tell.
Yay.
But thank you, everybody, for joining us live. It's very fun. We'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed the show and hope you're inspired. But until next week, remember to
make a great day.
Gonk, gonk.
See you
Bye,
next
everybody.
week.